little icebreaker. We're going to go around the room and we're going to say where we're calling from. If you had to rate your week from 1 to 10, what would you rate it and why? And then, have you ever been to a Students for Good meetup? And then, this is a kind of a fun one. What is your go-to hype song? So, I will start by passing it to Janine.
Hi everyone. So yeah, my name is Janine, and I'm calling in from Phoenix, Arizona. And I would rate my week a solid 8. Class started, but like minus 2 points for the Arizona heat. And then this is actually my second Students for Good meetup, and my go-to hype song is Unwritten. Such a good song.
Yeah, that's a great song. Okay, Morgan, do you want to share next?
Yeah, sure. So my name's Morgan. I'm in San Jose, California right now. And I think I would rate my week like a 6. It was just a really long week and I'm really tired. And then I've never been to a meetup before because the last one I wasn't able to like attend. And then my go-to hype song is probably also Unreal. I love that song. Or Pocket Full of Sunshine.
Both were really solid answers. Okay, Ariella, do you want to share?
Yeah, sure. I'm calling from Hagerstown, Maryland. I would say my week was probably like a 7 out of 10. It was long, but it was not that bad, honestly. I haven't been to a meetup before, and my go-to hype song would probably be I Miss You, I'm Sorry by Gracie Abrams.
I love that song. Okay, Oriane, you want to share?
So I'm calling from Canada. I'm in Ontario, and if I had to rate my week from 1 to 10, I'd give it probably like a 6 because for me it was like first week of school, and adjusting and everything to like the new year is like, I don't know, not the best thing. I have been to a Student for Good meetup before, and I'd say like my go-to hype song is like literally any song by Tate McRae.
Yes, I love Tate McRae. Okay, I just realized I never went, so I'll go. I'm calling from San Jose, California. My week has been probably like a 7, just because I've had a lot of homework and it's been busy. This is only my second Students for Good meetup, so I'm really excited to be hosting. And then I listen to pretty much only country music, so my go-to hype song would probably be "Lucky" by Megan Roney. And then I am going to give a little rundown of the events. We're starting a little bit later just because we wanted to wait out for people to join, but we have our panelist presentations, then I'll open the floor I have some prepared questions, and then we'll have a Q&A. And then at the end, I'll share a little bit more about our organization, and we'll have closing statements. So I'm going to pass it over to our wonderful speaker. Madeline is not here, so we're going to go straight to Ariella.
My name is Ariella. I'm a senior in high school. I go to Williamsport High School, which is in Maryland. I was kind of inspired by like in my community, there's like really high crime rates and also poor educational systems. And in turn, that's kind of like correlated with also like poor mental health just in schools because of the struggle that a lot of students go through. So I kind of wanted to provide youth like the resources to overcome like the issues that I saw in my community. Some things I did before I started my nonprofit were just like things with my county through like teen boards and then also the National Youth Council just to kind of get involved in like mental health and just youth issues in general. And in the future, I want to become a criminal defense attorney and hopefully a politician one day. And then my organization is called Echoes of Tomorrow, and it's youth led. Our slogan is like youth advocates for youth advocacy. So again, like our entire organization besides like the legal stuff is all done through youth, and we try to like solve the issues that we see youth go through in our community. It began as a school club to identify like the needs that we identified, but then we expanded to a nonprofit to amplify our impact. So we have chapters and volunteers in like multiple states, continents, and we're lucky to have a lot of volunteers who are able to help with all of our initiatives, and we're also always open to like new volunteers, ideas, and team members. Some things that we've done is we have a community closet where since there's like such a high poverty rate in our community, a lot of students don't have adequate funds to get like school supplies or hygienic products or like mental health resources. So we have a community closet where we share like materials such as like maybe like free therapy or like peer support groups, and then also like give away free hygienic products, even like sports equipment to athletes. And then we also have like an international tutoring program, just kind of going along with like the educational needs. And then one of my favorite things that we do is we have hearts and hands. So we kind of make cards for kids in need. So kids who are in maybe shelters or foster care programs, just kind of encouraging them. And then with our cards, like we'll try to like, write like really personalized notes, just wishing them luck. For example, we just did a back to school edition and we wish them luck with their back to school, and our volunteers wrote like tips for the new school year. And then we also try to give care packages. So for girls, we'll try to do maybe like hygienic products for the older girls, or maybe like some school supplies, just things like that. And then also mental health resources is a key part, just because a lot of kids who do go through things like poverty or foster care are often just a lot more susceptible to mental health and unfortunately suicide as well. And then one of our big things is we do peer circles and peer support events. So for example, we'll do like events in the free library where kids can come together and fill out like college applications or do homework, just so they can do things not alone. They don't even necessarily need to be talking, but just being that environment of other people is really, really helpful. And our next project is teen health focused, and it's really focused on anti-violence and like teen pregnancy prevention, just because that's an issue that again we've really addressed in our community. So we want to take on an initiative and kind of help teens stray away from that through art. A big thing that we've seen is like for mental health, a lot of kids like to portray that through like poetry or like art. So we want to kind of address other community needs as well through that. And then Power in Our Pockets is like a youth-led mutual aid program, and it's a community initiative addressing the low education rates and crime rates. And it's like a no strings attached like aid to youth, and it empowers them to like ask for help. We use like donations and donation drives and grants. It's an emergency fund and closet to provide help. And we also do, again, through this, they can sign up for our peer support circles, which is something that a lot of youth do. Like they won't even take anything from the closet, but just signing up for like the peer support groups is like really helpful for them. And I think that like to start your own organization like this or your own initiative, honestly, it can really be for anything, but just identifying an issue in your community, I think is really, really helpful. So again, we have like in our community, there's a lot of poverty, which is related to mental health and crime. So that's kind of what we wanted to address.
Okay, I'm gonna stop sharing my screen, and then I have some questions for Ariella. Thank you so much for presenting. Your organization is so inspiring, and it's amazing how you saw a need in your community and you're totally addressing it, and it obviously helping so many people. So you kind of already touched on this, but what advice would you have for someone considering to start their own initiative?
I would say, like, for me, I think, again, just really identifying, like, what is a need in your community. I think when I started out, I was inspired by other organizations, but they didn't necessarily match what was going on where I live. So I think that, a lot of communities might not have, like, high crime rates in youth. That's something that's kind of, like, unique, I guess, like some communities. So I would say really just focus on, like, what is something that you see constantly, maybe with, like, your friends or maybe like students you go to school with, and really try to focus on that, like make it really personalized.
Yeah, I love that. Just trying to like zero in on something that really needs to be changed that's specific to your community. And then what is your favorite thing about running your project and organization?
I would say I'm like really lucky that I get to do it with my friends. I think that like being able to kind of like bring my friends together and do something that really helps our community, I think makes it fun. And I think some of my friends have even said that they're really glad that I started this and kind of brought them to like the realization that they honestly do have like the power to actually do something.
Yeah, I love that. That's so cool. That's a nice little community you have in the organization. And then how would you say that your organization helps people take action in their community? Like how does it inspire people to take action?
I would say for sure, like the donation drives and fundraisers and things like that. I think that really gets like our community involved in helping out. Because like while we like help run it and things like that through like volunteers and again like donations. I think that really gets everybody involved. And then I think something like kind of unique about like a mutual aid program is it's also like when we're helping the people that we're looking to help, they also take the initiative to ask for help through like emergency funds, or they take it upon themselves to go in the closet or to sign up for the peer circles. So I think it really teaches people that like it's okay to ask for help. It's something to be like ashamed of.
Yeah, I love that. That's a really important thing, especially since we're talking about mental health. That's an amazing thing that you're advocating for. Does anybody else have any questions?
I just have one. Like, what would you say, I guess, that you're most happy about for like starting the organization? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like, what makes you the most happy?
Yeah. I would say, I think again, like where I go and like to school, there is just like so much poverty where I live. So even like my one of my best friends, I met her in like third grade, I believe, and like she's even like had use out of like the peer circles and our community closet. So I think just like seeing her like benefit from what we're doing, I think has really just like shown me like the impact that I guess I'm actually able to have. And I think seeing that I can actually do something in my community is probably like my favorite thing.
Yeah, I love that. If anybody else would like to ask their questions, I'm just going to try to get our other speaker on the call really fast. All right, yeah. And then I have another question. What has been the most like what has been the feedback from the community like? I'm sure it's been amazing, but what has been like the best piece of feedback that you've gotten through this whole process of starting an organization?
Our community closet, and our peer circles. So our community closet is done at a local high school, and then our peer circles are in the library. So I think adults that either work at the high school or the library have kind of like seen organization in action and just kind of seen like kids come together. So I think it's really special to hear feedback from adults because they're able to offer, I feel like, a unique perspective. Like they're kind of on the outside, and I think hearing them say that it's really cool to see what we're doing genuinely like means a lot.
Yeah, I love that. I think that's a beautiful thing. Hi, Madeline.
Hi.
Okay, do you want to? I'll just start sharing my screen again, and then we can go ahead and start your presentation.
Okay. Yeah, so I'm a sophomore at Pacific Ridge, which is a school at Carlsbad, and I'm the marketing and fundraising lead of the Teenage Handbook. So basically, I market to the high schoolers and let them know that that the Teenage Handbook is a resource for teens from teens, and it's a big thing for us because we basically have teens telling other teens to like their experiences. So hopefully they'll like what's it called connect with them more, and it's more impactful because it's coming from teens, not like from an adult or a parent, so they're more likely to listen. And yeah, so this is oh yeah, you can go.
Are you done with that slide? Or
Oh
you want me
yeah,
to?
yeah.
Okay.
So this is a little bit of what we like have done so far. So we launch a competition that starts on World Teen Mental Health Day. And basically, we have teens submit any type of media, like video, well, we haven't had a podcast, but like through photos or art. And basically, it's any way they can express themselves through the media to show about like everything that they've gone through. And we publish these and like a little portfolio for other people who view our website to look at. Yeah. And this is one of the examples from 2 years ago. And this is a quote that really resonated and we thought really stood out. So yeah.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay, I'm going to stop sharing. And then I have some questions for you just to kind of dive deeper into your organization. So you said you have like it's a portfolio of all these.
Mhm.
What is that one of your favorites, or do you have any other like cool stories of people submitting artwork?
Yeah, I think you kind of, I don't have them right now on me, but if you go to the Teenage Handbook, there's like a little thing that says 2024, and then you scroll down, and then there's a portfolio, and all the ones that we have, like that are the winners, are all posted there, and then you have their artist statement and a quote that we think is like one of the most impactful out of their artist statement, and you can kind of look over there to see all the good ones that are the best. But yeah.
Awesome. And then what advice would you have for someone who is considering to start their own organization?
I would say like find good advisors to help you and find a good support system so you can ask for advice or anything. But yeah, like as long as you have a good idea, you can do anything.
Yeah, I love that. What is your favorite thing about doing your project? I'm sure it's really rewarding. So what's your favorite?
Yeah, I love it when people like email us about if it's helped or any way, like, oh yeah, I was going through this and your thing has really it made me see like I'm not alone or anything. So we got an email like that, and that was really rewarding because now we know that we're really making a difference.
Yeah, that does. I'm sure that was really like amazing, kind of awe-inspiring to hear. And then how would you say your organization helps people to take action on these issues?
Um, I would say, well, journaling really helps them like express their feelings, so it's not all bottled up, in their head or everything, and it helps them like actually make an impact and help others. So I would say that's really the action. But yeah.
Then I'm not sure if you said on your slides, but how many like volunteers, and how is it just you and your organization, or do you have anybody else working
Yeah, we
with it?
have student ambassadors, and they kind of like help like advertise and get other people on board. And then we also have mentors that we have which help look over all the submissions, and yeah, it's also our board, but yeah.
That's awesome. And how long has your organization been? How long? When did you found it?
Oh, it started 2 years ago.
Nice. Okay. Does anybody from the floor and the rest of the meeting have any questions for our panelists?
Sorry, I have a question. So I really am interested in this whole thing because I really love art and like journaling and like you said, all that stuff. So you were saying that like people like submit like their art and like their messages. Okay, I love that. Like, what inspired you like to specifically like narrow in on like just art for like people to share?
Oh, it's not just art, it's art or
Oh,
essays or like stories, but it's really whatever people decide to submit.
okay, sounds good. Thank you so much.
Of course. Also, if you said you're really into art and everything, if you would like to submit something, we open again next year because we just finished the 2025. But we would love to have another submission if you're interested.
Yeah, that's awesome. If nobody has any more questions, then I'm just going to close out the meeting by sharing a little bit more about Students for Good and Digital for Good, and then you guys can be on your way. All right. So wait, we already went to this. Okay, so we have lots of student interns around. They're in multiple continents, and I'm a student intern, and it's like one of the most amazing things. I'm so glad that I can be a part of it. I've learned so much on how to conduct myself, and I feel like I'm a much better person because of this internship. So we have annual interns and seasonal interns throughout the United States and the world, and our interns are really the backbone of our organization. They carry out all sorts of tasks, and my job as an events intern, I find the speakers for our meetings, for our Students for Good webinars, for our summit in the spring, and it's just a really amazing thing, and I get to meet so many people, and I love being able to see change makers in action and sharing their stories, and it's a really amazing thing that I encourage anyone to join. There's applications on our website, so feel free to fill out an application. And then just our upcoming webinars that I'm really excited about. Our October webinar, we have bullying prevention. We're shutting down hate and learning to be an ally. And then in November, we have gratitude and giving. We're giving back, showing thanks, and spreading kindness. December is digital resolutions, January is digital community, February is digital identity, and March is digital empowerment. And then April, May, and June are digital citizenship, mental health, and internet safety. And really spread the word at these webinars. We have so many amazing change makers each month, and it's just a really cool thing to be a part of, and anybody can join a webinar. So tell your friends, tell anybody to, join these webinars, because it's a really rewarding and cool thing to be a part of. Well, yeah, I think we can close out here. Thank you to our amazing speakers, and thank you to everyone who's on the call. I know this was kind of a smaller meeting, but we had good conversation, and I'm excited that we heard about some amazing organizations. So thank you.
Thank you.